Welcome back to Coffee with the County. Today we got a little special project that we were looking at. I'm with DJ Thompson. Hello, DJ.
Hello.
Our land commissioner has returned back in to speak with us today, and we're loving that. We wanted to talk about the ATV trail, the Northwoods ATV trail system that we currently have or have the benefit of having in our area.
Yeah.
And we just conducted through the county, through the land department and the economic development together, collaborating with the University of Minnesota Extension. We just recently did a survey that tells us the economic impact of what that Northwoods ATV trail brings Aiken County throughout a year or an annual basis, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I thought I'd start first of giving you guys such tremendous credit. The ATV riders in 2024 that we have are 138,000 riders, 138,460 to be exact.
Yep. Riders that we counted through our traffic counters. We're able to count in certain locations where the TV riders are going, and we have them out in different locations, and that was the count that we had for the year 2024 was 138,460 riders.
Yeah.
And that accounts for back and forth as well.
I was going to say, that's got to be a conservative number, right?
Yeah, because there's some trails that you have to pass the counter twice. You know, you go down it and you trip it, and then you come back and it trips again. So that is certainly a very conservative number and takes into account those types of trails that have kind of the in and out, so to speak.
Yeah, well, first off, it's amazing that we're tracking that, right? And, you know, this trail system it's unique in our area, and to have that many riders, I mean, we're a population of 16,000 across the entire county, and we've got 138,000 visitors with the ATV trails.
Yes.
I think that's amazing. But, you know, we take a look at those numbers. We did a survey, like I said, with the U of M's help. They did an actual postcard survey.
Yep.
They did a live survey and questionnaire to ATV riders that were on our trails. And we got a bunch of those. There was over 500, almost 600, I think, surveys that were completed, which is it's a good number to get some solid information.
Yeah, and certainly enough for the sample size that they were looking for to get the data and get the information that they were looking for. So
yeah, cool. So we found out a couple of really good things. You always want to know, are the trail riders, are they visitors or are they local? And it looked like 65% of those riders that were surveyed were visitors to our area, which for economic development and retail revenue, that's a really good thing.
Yeah. Yep. And these are people that came specifically to Aiken County to ride the ATV trails.
Yeah. So they're planning the weekend trip, because you can't do the whole Northwoods ATV trail in 2 hours, right? If you want to say, I'm going to start at one end and end at the other, it would take quite some time to do that.
A couple days of riding,
Yeah, that's awesome to have that big of a scale of ATV trail on it. But 65% were visitors, so if you're doing the math, that'd be 35% are local. You know, so that's also a big number that utilize our trails locally here. And, you know, what an economic impact study does is tell us, what's the economic impact? What does that mean, right?
What's the bottom line? What's the dollars generated?
And, you know, what we did see, and direct activity was $16.8 million back into our economy from the trail riders that are out there. That number amazed me. I know when I presented it to the board, that was a number that was really shocking to them, that, you know, once you put a number to it, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yep.
That's an important asset that we have in the county.
And a lot of businesses, the restaurants, the gas stations, the lodging establishments, the campgrounds, that is a huge source of revenue for them in the summertime. And, you know, we always talk in the summertime, the tourist industry, and certainly the ATVing would be considered a tourist activity, and that's money that they depend on. That's income and revenue that's generated that they're counting on to make their ends meet. So
yeah, absolutely, and jobs too, right? You got to have staff to be able to take care of the lodging and to serve at the restaurants. It's 180 jobs that were supported in that area with those numbers. So if you're looking at $16.8 million coming in from that trail, that really does put it at a huge priority level to make sure that we're continuing our trail system and working through improvements, advancements, all of those different things. I think some of those numbers that might shock the listeners, if we take a look at restaurants, gas stations, the restaurants, and I don't have the number in front of me, but it was over $2 million that the restaurants and bars and restaurants brought in.
Yeah.
Lodging was relatively close to that same number.
Yep.
I think if you took what they call transportation, and I included transportation and retail in the number when I gave it to the board.
Oh, sure.
So gas, if you're going shopping, if you're doing different groceries, different things like that, that was up over $3 million in an area that primarily is not Aiken, right? It's not the city of Aiken.
Oh, right.
It's your Northwoods Trail is...
Yeah, and that's the crazy part is that the city of Aiken itself isn't connected to any of the ATV trails.
Isn't connected yet.
At the moment, is not connected.
We are working on, and we should add this in again, we are working on a connection from Malmo over to the Sioux line.
Yeah, yep. For those out there that aren't kind of familiar with the trails in Aiken County, we have the old Sioux line railroad grade is kind of the backbone of our ATV system and our ATV trail system. So we have roughly 24 miles of what we call the South Sioux line, and it runs diagonally through the southern part of the county. And then we have 48 miles of the North Sioux line that runs diagonally the other way through the county. And it, like I said, it was old Sioux Line Railroad that the county actually acquired. So that's kind of the backbone. Those 72 miles are the backbone of the ATV trails, and then the trails will spur off of that Sioux line. So you have throughout the county from Swatara down to Lawler, you have all these different loops and segments and connectors that you can go from area to area, but they're all kind of based off of that Sioux line. So that's what makes the Northwoods ATV trail system so unique. Is that you actually could go anywhere in the county or quite a bit through the county, just going from the Sioux line onto all these different loops and these different connectors, and not just Aiken County either. So a lot of these trails connect into Itasca County or connect into Cass County and things like that. So we like to think of, at least from Aiken's standpoint, we like to think of the Northwoods ATV trail system or that trail system just as Aiken County, but they don't stop at the county line.
And you were the original, the Northwoods
we were
ATV
the original
trail in Aiken County, and because it's naturally better here in Aiken County, everybody wants to be part of it, and they attach their trails to your trails.
Yeah, they kind of glom onto us. But
yeah. So bottom line is you can ride for days, right?
You can, yep. And one nice thing too is the county manages 4 campgrounds throughout the county, or the land department manages 4 campgrounds throughout the county. 3 of those are on the ATV trail system. So you can actually pull up to a campsite, an improved campsite that has, shower houses and electricity to the site, and then get on your 4-wheeler or get on your side-by-side and ride for days, really, if you wanted to. And a lot of people do that. They'll plan out, one day, we'll load up the wheelers and we'll head off in this direction and hit this trail and hit that trail, and then the next day they'll go a different direction and hit a different set of trails. So the opportunities for riding is really something else. And if you're an ATV enthusiast and like to ride the trails, I think we have some of the best around.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that the ATV riders are familiar with the area and what the Northwoods ATV Trail is. But one of the reasons why you do an economic impact study, to find out $16.8 million are spent around the trail. Yeah. If you're a retail business or thinking of putting in a retail business and you're trying to decide what it is that you want to do, you know that there's $16.8 million around that trail. So if you've got a business that might tie in somehow, some way, whether it's a retail shop or a gas station or an ATV maintenance, that you might need that out there somewhere.
Absolutely.
But as listeners, and think about that, if you are looking to open up a business, there's really valuable opportunities out there on the trail, not only the huge recreational opportunity.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, and we don't have it here in front of us, Mark, but there was another statistic that was in the survey, and it happened to do with visiting other attractions in the area. So whether you're going to go see, an historical monument or whatever it might be, and the majority of responses, the people that were doing the ATV riding, if there was a particular area of interest, they were checking those things out too. So It wasn't just ATVs, it wasn't the ATVs going to the gas stations and the bars and the hotel or the campground and that was it. So they were checking out other things in the area, and maybe it was seeing a concert or going to a park or what have you. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's, it's a testament to the great work that you guys do in the land department, keeping this up and running. The Northwoods ATV Trail, I'm sure, as the Sioux Line, and I love the unique part where you can jump off that and go on to those individual trails.
Yeah.
You get credit for that design as our land commissioner.
Well, I'll certainly take it. It wasn't necessarily my idea, but yeah. No, and you mentioned, Mark, earlier too, I didn't get a chance to circle back to it, but with the new ATV trail that we're looking at installing, and we're hoping to break ground within the next couple months here on it, is that connector from Malmo to that South Sioux line. So connecting the people from the Mille Lacs Lake area and getting them to the Sioux line, which is then opens up all those other trails and access to all those other trails. So It's a new trail that is roughly 36 miles in length. It's going to add a lot more miles to the system and certainly provide a lot more opportunities for riders and certainly down in that Mille Lacs Lake area, because that's another big area in the summertime for summer tourism with fishing and boating activities and all that stuff. So
tons of things to do in Aiken County.
That's why it's naturally better here.
Oh, I love it. Well, DJ, thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate you spending some time with us talking about this, and we'll continue to update on the Northwoods ATV Trail as we go, and the new connection that you guys are building, and we'll continue to do that and come by anytime.
Yeah, and certainly give a shout out to Chris Johnson in our office. He's our recreation specialist, and he is the one that works with the ATV clubs for maintaining these trails, and just doesn't get the credit he deserves for the incredible job that he has with the ATV clubs and with the recreation opportunities that are here in the county. So
yeah, absolutely. Good job, Chris. We had him in on a podcast earlier, and I tried to hire him as the podcast host because of his energy and his excitement, and he was keeping everyone awake when he was in here, which was a good thing. Thanks again for coming in.
Absolutely.
And you're listening to Coffee with the County.